Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, and in a few minutes, Ferguson Jenkins will become a distinguished member of this group. I'm Barry Tramel, along with the man himself, Ferguson Jenkins. And Ferguson, it's a long way from Wrigley Field to a ranch in Guthrie, Oklahoma, but you've become an adopted Oklahoman along the way. Tell us about your affections for the state of Oklahoma.
Well, Barry, I moved here in '88 when I became a pitching coach with the '89ers. And I stayed here 2 years, and I think in '89 I started looking around for another small ranch. I ended up buying a big ranch, and I started raising cattle. But the nice thing about it, I tried to be a part of the community, which I did in Guthrie. And a year later, I think in 1990, I met Richard Hendricks, which we formed the Oklahoma Museum that's now in Guthrie. But, I mean, it's just, you know, I wanted to come to a small community because I was a farmer as a kid in Canada. Small communities is where I was raised, and I was comfortable with that atmosphere.
We talked the other day, and when you were winning all those games in Chicago as a Cub, in the off season, you'd go home, run a horse ranch with your father in Ontario. Ontario and Logan County, though, not a lot of similarities.
No, I lived in a little town. It was Harwich Township in Blenheim, and the soil's much different. We had a real dark black soil, and I grew corn, soybeans, and wheat. Here in Oklahoma, the soil's red. I was able to grow pretty good winter wheat for cattle and horses, and I had pretty good pasture ground. So I think the structure of the ground pretty much the same. It was a little flat. Didn't have many hills here in Oklahoma. Had the Cimarron River, which was pretty distinctive. And I really enjoyed driving down a country road. We had from Guthrie to my ranch, about 11 miles of dirt. And I didn't mind it. The wife didn't mind it, but it was just the fact that it was in the country, it was quiet, and I enjoyed that part of living here in Oklahoma.
Of course, you're in the Baseball Hall of Fame, won all those games as a Cub and a Ranger primarily, but you know, going back to those 67 to 72, that era with the Cubs, a special team in Chicago history. What do you think back when you think about those Cub teams of you and Ernie Banks and Ron Santo and Billy Williams?
Well, probably the one name that stands out was Leo DeRocher. He gave me that opportunity to be a starter. And I think without Leo kind of not pushing me, but he said, you punished your arm enough out of the bullpen, which almost in 66, I pitched over 51 or 52 games out of the bullpen. He gave me 10 starts. I won 4 or 5 of those starts. And he kind of made a point in 67, when you go to spring training, we're going to have 4 starters like that. We're picking from Kenny Holtzman, Bill Hange, Rich Nye, and yourself, Fergie Jenkins. You 4 individuals will be the backbone of our starting staff. And we're all 23, 24 years old. And that's how it happened. And I was able to put that string of games together only because of good defense and offense. You know, I had guys that wanted to play behind me, and I wanted to win. I was an individual that hated to lose. So I was out there to win every game I pitched.
I certainly became an institution in Chicago and throughout baseball, and now in the state of Oklahoma, as Ferguson Jenkins is inducted into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. Stay tuned for further Hall of Fame coverage and baseball coverage every day in the Oklahoman and here on News OK.